Achilles Rehab After Surgery, your phase-by-phase guide to recovery. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Pain and Performance Clinic channel. Today we're going to talk about one of the toughest rehabs in sport and active life, Achilles tendon recovery post-surgery. This is for post-surgical Achilles rupture repair. So you've had an Achilles repair operation. This video will guide you through the entire rehab process, what to expect, what to focus on, what milestones you should hit, what exercises will help you rebuild strength, confidence and movement safely. We'll go through it phase by phase from week one right through to getting back on the pitch, the gym floor, running or your favorite sport again. When you injure or rupture your Achilles, surgery repairs the structure, but it doesn't restore your strength, control or movement automatically. That part takes time, progressive loading and consistency. That often isn't explained to you pre-surgery. Surgery does its job, but then you have a lot of work to do afterwards. Your tendon needs to relearn how to handle load again. First gently, then powerfully. Your calf needs to rebuild its strength and endurance, and your brain needs to trust your movement again. But let's be clear, you can fully recover from Achilles surgery. There's more good tissue in a damaged tendon than a normal tendon. So despite a tearing, there are enough healthy areas of the tendon to do the job. So recovery isn't just about time, it's about hitting milestones. Let's go phase by phase. So phase one is protection and early healing. Really in the first at least 4 weeks post-surgery. The goal here is to protect the repair, control swelling, and gently activate the muscles around the ankle. In the first few weeks after surgery, your tendon is still healing and it's fragile. You're likely in a boot, often with the boot pointed slightly down or plantar flexed to reduce the tension on the tendon. You might be non-weight bearing or partially weight bearing depending on your surgeon's advice. So your focus here really is just to be patient. A little bit of patience here pays off. Keep the swelling down. Elevation, compression, gentle movement when allowed. Activate the muscles above and below the injury. So your thighs, your glutes, your core, and even your other leg. It's fine to get them working. Keep the rest of your body moving, your upper body. It's fine to do all those things as long as it doesn't stress the injured area. Sample exercises here might be toe curls and foot mobility exercises inside the boot, quad sets, straight leg raises, glute bridges, little gentle ankle pumps if it's cleared by your surgeon. The milestones before moving on needs to be that the incision is healed and the pain is really under control. You can tolerate gentle movement in the boot. There's minimal swelling and you're starting to bear some weight. The common pitfalls here are 1, doing nothing. So total rest leads to stiffness, muscle loss and weakness. On the other side, you've got overdoing it, walking too early or removing the boot for too long or too early, ignoring the swelling and the tightness and just pushing on through. This phase really is about protecting the repair, but staying engaged. Phase 2 is really the early introduction to load. So from about 4 to 8 weeks. The goal here is to begin gentle, safe loading and improve ankle motion with still or under control. So you start to teach the tendon that it's okay to take a little bit of load again, but carefully. You likely begin partial weight bearing in the boot and start coming out of it gradually as per your surgeon's timeline. The focus here is on controlled weight bearing, regaining ankle movement within the range that you can cope with, beginning calf activation work, doing some balance work. So some exercises here might be seated calf raises, gentle with both feet, or seated calf contractions where you're pushing your toes down into the floor, moving your ankle around as much as possible, ankle circles, doing the alphabet, standing weight shift exercises, moving from one leg to the other, and double leg bridges, mini squats, things like that. The milestones before moving on here are that you're comfortable with full weight bearing in the boot, your ankle moves smoothly with only a little bit of mild stiffness, light seated heel raises without any swelling afterwards, and walking short distances with even weight through both feet. The common pitfalls in this phase are that you're thinking you're ready to walk normally too soon. You're limping with the boot off. That reinforces bad muscle recruitment patterns. Skipping your calf activation work, like doing nothing to help the area. At this stage, you're building confidence and movement, not really pushing strength yet. You still have to be patient up to this point. Now at phase 3 is where you can really begin your strength work. This is generally from about 8 to 10 weeks on. So the goal here is to rebuild strength in the calf, Achilles and the muscles around your ankles and hips. The tendon is healed enough to start taking proper load. Now you have to teach it to be strong again. This is where rehab really starts to make a difference. You're working on regaining your push-off strength, your balance and your control. So the focus here would be double leg to single leg calf raises, building your calf endurance. So pushing on and stopping with maybe only 2 reps in reserve, improving your balance and your foot control and restoring full ankle range of motion. Lots of exercise options here for you. We don't have to be as protective. Double and single leg calf raises, seated and standing, step ups and step downs, balance exercises, resistance band exercises, working all the muscles around your ankle. And obviously you can do glute and hamstring strengthening exercises, bridges, RDLs, step ups, side steps. The milestones before moving on here are that you can do 20 pain-free double leg calf raises. You can walk normally with no limp. That might take you retraining how you walk. Full ankle motion without any swelling, and confident single leg balance for at least 30 seconds. The pitfalls here would be rushing to jog before you actually have regained your calf strength. You have to put in the work around that calf. Poor form, so letting your foot roll in or your heel collapse during calf raises. Keeping form really good is important there, and ignoring other parts of your body. Train whatever else you can train. Phase 4 is advanced strength work. So this really is from about 3 months to 6 months. The goal here is to build real strength, power, and spring in your calf and Achilles. You're now rebuilding the tendon's ability to handle higher loads, preparing to run, jump, landing. This phase is all about control, but under pressure. So the focus here is on eccentric calf work, where you've got heavier loads and you're slowly lowering your calf. Heavy strength work, controlled jump and landing exercises, running and agility progressions. Sample exercises here can be single leg calf work, again, where you're really pushing the intensity. Heavy weighted seated and standing calf exercises, split squats, lunges, single leg RDLs, jump and stick drills, landing soft, holding, getting your technique right with those, and then light agility drills, cone steps, lateral shuffles. The milestones before moving on really are that you can do 15 controlled single leg calf raises. You can run for 10 to 15 minutes comfortably, just a slow jog. No swelling or pain 24 hours after training, and that you're confident and controlled in your landings and in your balance. Pitfalls here would be jumping into sports drills before the tendon is actually ready. Again, you have to put in more consistent work. Fatiguing too early in the session, so poor control when you're tired, form goes out the window. Forgetting to strengthen both calves equally. This is where your strength control, you turn that into sort of more athletic potential. But again, it needs consistent work. Phase 5 is your return to sport and performance. So this generally is from 6 to 9 months. The goal here is to safely return to full speed sprinting, cutting, jumping and sports performance. You've rebuilt your strength, now you're putting it into action. This phase mimics the sports demand. So you're preparing the tendon to handle chaotic, unpredictable movement again, sprinting, decelerating, cutting, landing. This will only be possible if you've all your strength work done for a consistent amount of time. The focus here is on explosive strength and plyometrics, agility, change of direction, acceleration, deceleration, sport-specific fitness and drills. So you need to be absolutely comfortable with all your hopping drills, forward, sideways, diagonal, bounding and skipping, confidently accelerating and decelerating, cutting drills, box jumps, depth jumps. Heavier gym lifts should be no problem at this stage. Your squats, your deadlifts, your calf raises, they're all in the previous phases. Your game and sports specific drills, so passing, jumping, tackling, reacting to other people on the pitch. Milestones to fully recover. Your strength and hop distance are within 90 to 95% of the other side. Full running and sprinting with confidence. No swelling or stiffness after training. The mental readiness and trust in your leg. You have to have the confidence. Common pitfalls here are that you stop rehab too early because you're back playing. You have to keep this going. You're not maintaining your calf work. You have to do calf work consistently for the rest of your life. Skipping warm-ups and landing work. All of that stuff is so important to prepare you for what you want to do. Your rehab doesn't end when you return to sport. It just changes. Like now it's maintenance. It might be, slightly less frequent or less intense, but it still happens several times weekly. Final phase is your long-term maintenance and injury prevention. So the goal here is to keep your tendon strong and resilient for the long term. Once you're back playing, continue at least 2 short strength sessions per week, focused on calf strength, both heavy and endurance work, landing mechanics, glute and hamstring work, single leg balance and control, and you have to have the strength and power, and that needs to be trained in order for you to maintain it. So it might be like calf raises, RDLs, step-ups, jumps and landing, lots of plyometric exercises with certainly at least 1 session a week where you do a heavy lift. This ongoing work is your insurance policy. It keeps the tendon healthy and helps prevent future issues. But it is something you have to maintain. I can't stress that enough. You don't get back to sport and then stop. Common pitfalls here in the journey. So let's summarize a few of the biggest ones that we see here in the clinic. Rushing ahead because it feels fine in the early stages. Skipping strength once you start running. Ignoring swelling and morning stiffness. Neglecting hip and glute strength and losing patience. The tendon remodels slowly. So your Achilles is built to be loaded, but it needs progressive, consistent loading, not random bursts of effort. Every 2 to 3 days, you're consistently working it hard. To wrap up, Achilles Rehab is all about progression and patience. Every phase has its clear focus. Phase 1, protection and gentle activation. You need patience here. Phase 2, movement and early loading. Phase 3 is when you really begin your strength work. Phase 4, you're moving more into power and into running. Phase 5 is your sport and performance. And then phase 6, which is ongoing, is maintenance and prevention. So don't measure by time, measure by milestones. If you build strength, control, and confidence at every stage, you'll be able to return to your sport stronger than before. The ACL gets a lot of glamour. Achilles rehab is very, very difficult. It's mentally and emotionally challenging. If this video helped you understand Achilles recovery any better, hit like and subscribe, comment below, and tell us what phase you're currently in or what the biggest challenge for you has been so far.